What is up, everybody? Axe here, celebrating a momentous occasion. It has been 10 years since I started this channel. It's hard to believe that a full decade has passed, but time flies. And while I haven't been gaming that much lately, I still wanted to do something special to celebrate this channel because it does mean a lot to me. And I figured what better way to commemorate 10 years of Axeman gaming than by counting down my top 10 favorite video games of all time. And to keep it fair, we will stick to one game per series. So, jumping right in, at number 10 we have Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Now, the Super Nintendo was my first console ever, and while this wasn't exactly a mainstream hit for the console, it was a cult classic that gained a ton of popularity throughout the years. This game can be a little bit challenging if you don't know the right strategies, but what attracted me to it was it's based off of monster movies and the horror genre. It pits you against zombies, werewolves, vampires, Frankensteins, all those classic monsters, and it kind of has an arcade feel to it in some aspects. It also has a co-op mode, so it's tons of fun to play. And my dad and I got really into this game when I was little, and we were close to beating it at one point when it was time to go on a family vacation. But we were so focused on Zombies Ate My Neighbors, we actually packed the console up with us, and the first thing we did when we got to our relative's house was greet them, say hello, and then go hook the console up and keep playing. And we actually beat the game down there. And this game has also helped me meet a lot of awesome people here on YouTube. You all know who you are, so this is a great game both for the gameplay and for the great memories it's brought me throughout the years. Coming in at number 9, we have Sonic Generations. So, as a Super Nintendo kid, I never really got to experience Sonic unless I was going over to a friend's house to play their console. And years later, I found Sonic Generations. This is actually a unique platformer that combines 2D and 3D levels. And it's really more of a collection of the Sonic series than anything. It brings together all the great characters, the bosses, references to some of the best games out there in the series. There's character customization options. There's an interesting story. It's funny. This game just has so much going for it. And if you're looking for a game that really gives you a great feel of what the Sonic series is all about, tons of fun, replay value, humor, and all that, Sonic Generations is a game that I definitely recommend you check out. Coming in at number 8, we have Left 4 Dead 2. The Left 4 Dead series was huge when I was in college, and I remember spending so many nights killing so many zombies, and it's a great co-op game. It's got a survival aspect to it. It's simple in the premise, but there's always that element of danger if you run into a special infected or you get mobbed by a bunch of zombies, so you really need to play strategically. You need to be careful, and you need to rely on your co-op partners. And whether me and my partners were there for each other, we escaped together, whether we left each other for dead. I've gotten left for dead a few times, I've left people for dead a few times, but that's the name of the game. No matter what we were doing, we were having fun. And with other games like Back 4 Blood coming out recently, it just shows how popular this format of a game is and how iconic this gameplay style is. And this is a game that I can play anytime. It's tons of fun, and so it definitely makes my top 10 all-time favorites list. Coming in at number 7, we have Super Mario World. Now, you cannot be a child of the 90s, a Super Nintendo kid, without loving Super Mario World. To me, this game is the quintessential platformer. The controls are so smooth, the colors are so vivid, there's so many secrets and fun things to find. It's challenging in the right places, but it's got a nice difficulty curve, so it's not too hard. And this game actually inspired tons of hacks, which I used to play on my channel extensively. So the legacy of Super Mario World is all over my channel. It's been something I've gone back to throughout the years, and I could not have a top 10 list without this game being on it. Coming in at number 6, we have Dungeon Defenders. Once upon a time, I was doing all my gaming on a small business laptop, and this game, despite looking amazing and being very fast-paced, ran really well. It was super cheap to buy. It was basically the perfect game for me at the time, and it provided hours and hours of fun. It's so addictive. It's a combination of tower defense and kind of an action RPG, and this is a game that not only did I play extensively, I did a lot of videos for character builds and guides and things like that. So it was really immersive, and it's another game that, while it's simple in its premise, it's very strategic. You can have a lot of fun with it, different builds, different strategies, and things of that nature. And it looks beautiful. Again, despite having some of the lowest requirements for a game that I've ever seen, it runs so smooth, it looks so beautiful, and I'll always be a fan of Dungeon Defenders. Starting at our top 5, we have Batman Arkham City. As a fan of the Batman franchise, I was very excited when Arkham Asylum came out, but I think that Arkham City was the game that really nailed what this universe is supposed to be about. It's so huge, there's so much to explore. Almost all the great and iconic Batman villains are represented, and the game is very fun to play through multiple playthroughs because there are multiple ways to fight. You can use the gadgets, you can use hand-to-hand combat, you can use a combination, you can use stealth. The game just offers you so many options about where to go, how to play, and all that. And this is one of the few games that I've ever actually 100%ed. I was so into this game at one time, I got every hidden item, every Riddler trophy, every special cutscene bonus, you name it, I got it. It was a lot of work, but it was enjoyable, it was fun. Batman Arkham City easily makes my top 10 list, and it cracks the top 5 because it's so amazing. Coming in at number 4, we have Diablo III. Now, the Diablo series is iconic for many reasons. The original game changed the RPG genre as we know it. Diablo 2 is still a mainstay in many RPG circles. And of course, Blizzard's doing their thing with Diablo 4 in the works. But to me, Diablo 3 was the best because it's actually a game that I played quote-unquote competitively. This is the only game that I've ever had a world ranking for. At one time, I had the 460th best Crusader on the North American leaderboard. So that's another gaming accomplishment I'm pretty proud of. And this is another game I played co-op with different people at different times. It's such a fun game. I still remember using the Monk the 7-sided strike build, or using the Crusader and the Holy Shotgun. There's so many fun builds on that game. I just got so much enjoyment out of it. And Diablo 3 is a game that I could go back to at any time. It easily makes my top 10. Coming in at number 3, we have Super Mario RPG. Now, I know I said I'd only include one game per series, but to me, Mario is a franchise, not a series. So I get one game from the platforming series and one game from the RPG series. And to me, Super Mario RPG is the perfect balance of classic Mario elements and kind of the unique atmosphere created by having Square involved in this project as well. While I didn't exactly like this game at first when I played it when I was little because I didn't understand the RPG genre, I've gone back to it so many times throughout the years. It's just a masterpiece with beautiful visuals, great music, there's tons of secret stuff to find. It's just an awesome all-around game. I always feel relaxed and comfortable and content when I'm playing this game. It kind of, I don't know, it takes me back to my younger years, and it's just an amazing experience. If you haven't played this game, I highly recommend it. Coming in at number 2, we have Resident Evil 4. As somebody who played the original Resident Evil trilogy and Code Veronica and loved all those games, I was a little concerned, as were most fans of the series, when Resident Evil 4 was announced. It was announced that they were switching up the series and kind of deviating away from the original formula, but this shows that you don't always have to go with what you've done before in order to be successful, because by changing this game in certain areas, they created an absolute masterpiece. This game is so much fun, even though it's kind of old school with the tank controls and that sort of thing. To be honest, when I play, I don't really notice it that much. To me, it lends itself well to the survival horror atmosphere. It's challenging at certain parts, but it's a game that, to me, it has so much replay value. I mean, even if you played it like me a dozen times or more, I could always go back and play it some more. It's just that great of a game. It's a little bit out there in some spots where they kind of made Leon feel like an action movie hero, but to me, the over-the-top aspect works for it in a weird way. It's just, I can't explain it. It's just such a fun game to play. It's an amazing experience, and especially on professional difficulty where everything kills you in 2 hits, It's a challenge, but it's a fun game. So Resident Evil 4 is my favorite Resident Evil game of all time, and it ranks number 2 on my top 10 list of my all-time favorite games. And my number 1 favorite game of all time is Dark Souls. When I first heard about this game, I heard about it because of its reputation for being insanely difficult. But to me, this game is more than just a challenge. This game is an immersive experience. Along with the classic fantasy elements like dragons and sword fighting, knights and the undead and magic, this game gives you a sense of empowerment when you finally beat a tough boss or a difficult area. To me, it feels so empowering, and if I could imagine what an actual knight on the battlefield would have felt like when he vanquished a foe, this has to be the equivalent. Another thing I love about this game is that when you start, there are multiple ways you can go. You can actually try to fight bosses that are above your level, far above it at the beginning, and it's an even steeper challenge, but if you can beat that challenge, it puts you ahead. It allows you to experience the game in a new way, go to the areas in a different order, and this game also brings a very unique story. It kind of ties in with the idea of the player dying over and over again, but the story is told through lore instead of being kind of a direct narrative. You kind of piece the story together yourself from various elements, and it just adds to the unique atmosphere of this game. It's so much fun. It's such a challenge. It's always fun to play. Both the sequels are honorable mentions. To me, Dark Souls is the greatest game I've ever played, and it's a game I would highly recommend to anybody. It is without a doubt my favorite game of all time. So that's it for my top 10 list. Will this list change throughout the years? Possibly, but as for right now, I just want to look back on the past decade. I want to give a sincere, heartfelt thanks to everybody who's ever supported me or my channel in any way. If you watch videos, like, comment, whatever you do, I highly appreciate it. Love all you guys and gals who are a part of the YouTube gaming community. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the support, the company, the co-commentary, the friendship, all of that throughout the years. I look forward to making more memories with you right here on Axeman Gaming. Thanks, and see you next time.